Welcome to the new upgraded Genesis and CRM systems. This presentation is aimed at helping you to become familiar with the functions and benefits of the new integrated systems at Switchboard, as well as giving you a brief overview on answering interactions and the new CRM inquiry form. Genesis has been upgraded to 2016 software, but fundamentally it is similar to what we currently call the GAD. It will now be called Workspace Desktop Edition, WDE, and the icon you are seeing will be how you access Genesis and CRM from your desktop. CRM is the new case recording management system, which will replace HSS to improve and make our ability to record details of our work with children and young people easier and quicker. The streamlined recording system and processes will enable us to spend less time on reporting and recording and more time answering interactions. Once you have clicked on the WD icon, you will get the same familiar pop-up window where you enter your username and password. Switchboarders will now have their own specific username and password to enter, which will be the same as the one you will use to log into your computer. You will then click Login, which will generate the new pop-up window where you will need to enter the place number for your computer and click OK. The next pop-up window allows you to choose what channel you need to be logged into. For Switchboard-only counsellors, WDE will automatically default to voice, so all you need to do is click OK. Once you have logged in, WDE will appear as a slim grey bar along the top of your screen. CRM will automatically load once you have logged into WDE, and the green navigation bar along with your dashboard will be displayed below the WDE bar. The dashboard is the opening or home page in CRM and will display different information depending on your role. You will learn more about the dashboard in the formal training. You will automatically be logged in as not ready for interactions, and you can see that the icon next to your username on the grey WDE bar will be amber. To change your status to ready, click on the drop-down arrow next to your username. This will then generate a drop-down box and you can click on Ready. You would repeat this process to put yourself back on Not Ready. Another new benefit of WDE is that there will no longer be telephone handsets on your desk. Headsets will be plugged straight into the computer. When a call comes through, you will hear a noise through your headset and a pop-up box will appear in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. When the box appears, all you need to do is click Accept to pick up the call. Once you have answered the call, WDE will display an additional bar, and this is where you would transfer, put on hold, or end the contact. You will also be able to see the number calling if it has not been withheld, and the time spent on the interaction. We are now going to briefly introduce you to the new CRM inquiry form, which will also be automatically generated when you pick up the call and will already contain certain information. CRM will generate a unique number for every form and it will always be prefixed with an E. As the call progresses through to a counsellor, this number will always stay the same, but the form will become an advice form and the prefix will change to an A. The inquiry details section will provide information on how the person contacted the service and the service intended, which will be filled in automatically. There is also a notepad where you can add additional information collected. Whilst the aim of Switchboard is not about information gathering, Sometimes a contact may provide you with details that would be useful for the counsellor to know, and anything you add to the notepad will be carried through for the counsellor to see when the call is answered. During the formal training, we will give you some guidelines on the type of information that may be useful to capture. The contact details section will show you any previous contact history. For example, if not withheld, you will see the phone number, how many times they have contacted Childline today, this week, and in total. You will also be able to see any outcome from the last contact, and on this inquiry form, it shows that we transferred the call through to the counsellor queue. Information will also be available if the contact is a regular caller, and you will be shown examples of this during the formal training. Service guidance is a new feature and benefit for Switchboard, which will display information to support you in your role. For example, there will be a list of the most common misdialed numbers, useful resources that can be given to callers, and links to organisational procedures. Information within the service guidance can be added or updated at any time to reflect current campaigns or trends identified around resources used by young people. Another new feature to Switchboard is the Request Supervisor function. This activity allows you to record information where you have needed to involve a supervisor within the interaction. There would only be a few specific situations where it would be relevant to write up supervisor involvement, and the interaction would need to be substantive. For example, where the caller has presented immediate risk at Switchboard that requires supervisor support and a risk assessment. When you use the supervisor request function, you will add the supervisor's name and some notes, and this information will automatically transfer to the advice form when the call is passed through to a counsellor. During the formal training, we will show you how to complete this section and some guidance around when it would be used at Switchboard. The process for transferring calls within WDE has been simplified, and you will now be able to set up your own favourites for the queues you predominantly use. You will also have the ability to transfer calls directly to the NSPCC Adult Helpline. During the formal training, you will have the opportunity to answer and manage calls at Switchboard, complete the new CRM inquiry form, and transfer calls to the queues. We welcome any feedback you may have that would help us to improve and develop this training presentation for the future. You can do this by emailing the Doing More for Children project team on the following email address: